Okay, that is for sure music, which many people are listening to in the end of the day. So, how are you today, my friends? What are you doing on a Shabbat? We shouldn't do, we should rest, we should be in peace. Be in peace. Today it's Shabbat and it have a lot of opportunities today. I don't know how, but time will tell. And we never know before it's in the end. Today I am clear for whatever we are going to talk about, which I don't know from your side, but I've been thinking about some guy here in Norway that is Jan Hanvold. Jan Hanvold. And I don't want to push him into a bad pit, but there is, it's not a topic about him per se, because he is who he is, and no one can do anything about that as long as he is not willing to do anything about that. We never know what to do with people when they are how they are. So, but my issue is with some Christians, and that too is they are who they are. What to say? There is no need for criticism. There is no need for bad words about anyone. But we have to be critical. Why? I think a critical mind. Do some reflections. And I'm not going to talk about Christian per se. It's I think it is a general issue. Because to be critical is, let me write it down, to be critical. Yeah. To be critical. Let me see how that came to be. It seems to be okay. And you can criticize it because it is not yellow, it's not red, it's not this green, and it is not blue. So I put it in white just to clear every criticism away. And to be critical, you have, what I'm going to mention is examples on how people react. Because sometimes we are like these swarms. That is all around certain people that people like to swarm around. And Jan Hanvold, he is that kind of man that apply to many people. And he maybe talks straight into their hearts. And it's said that he is very biblical. He only talks from the Bible. And he is very correct in that way. But even though he is criticized for taking money cheating or tricking money from other people. By, for example, if you give so much, you will not get any blessing. If you don't give at all, you don't have any blessing. But if you give so and so, you will experience this and that, and healing, blessing, and so on. So money by him is a kind of a tool, or better said, the biblical terms, he take advantage in a spiritual way in order to get what he wants. He have these pointing fingers or warning that if people don't give enough, they will not receive blessing. And you may also believe that is a fact. You see, more often, the Christians' attitude to give something is to receive. To say yes is to say yes to Jesus or God, or do this or that, is implicit that you get to go to heaven. You get to have salvation, forever salvation. And if you do this and that, it's based on reward. Reward is something that the Catholic is all about. But if you go to the Jewish belief, do good is not done because you have a reward for that. The reward of doing good is doing good. So you see, you can't be critical of doing good. If you want to do good, you can't be critical. You can be critical, of course, in a way that maybe you do it to the wrong people, but you do it out of a clean heart, pure heart. If you have no alternative motives, alternative aims of doing what you are doing, yes, to do good, you do it because you think it's right, and that is the reward in itself. But this guy, he is too much religious, because he tend to be a Catholic. Mr. Ulf Ekman, Mr. Arild Edvardsen, Mr. Jan Hanvold, and all the rest, they tend to go into this realm that if you do, you will get a reward for your own good. If you give 10% or 100%, it doesn't matter. The point is, you have a reward. Now this television pastor, Jan Hanvold, have had a heart stroke, and he was hospitalized, and he was put in coma, maybe in order to heal up the state he is in, so that the heart can relax. Because to have a heart stroke, it seems that it has been a little bit too much for him. I'm not laughing at him, but you see, he is this kind of a man that never see how he can live off what he is doing. So if he is not wise enough, clever enough, that is stop when it's due time, the heart, the body, will in itself give messages to the owner that now you have to ease it off. Ease down, cool it down, and be happy with your life. Appreciate what you have. So when I went into these posts that was given out by different media, it was blocked, and the comment, the place where we can comment the post were locked. It because they see that criticism is hateful. How they get to be critical is hateful. I will dispute that very much. To be critical. So when people are conveying some criticism, it is answered by how cruel you are. You want this man's dead, and the criticism or the reactions was in this way, that since he have taken money for healing and all this, maybe he need to do that himself. It is cynical, it is ironical, but it is in a way how this go around. What comes around goes around, or what goes around comes around. What you give will be repaid. So when now he is in hospital, people think of this his own way, that he had this glamorous life. Maybe he didn't, I don't know. But in some way you will think that this man, since so many people gave so much money to his organization, maybe the money didn't go to him personally, but to his company, his activity. That was in, I think, Moldova, that he was doing some good deeds in Moldova. Right have to be right. So you can't criticize without any knowledge of whom you are talking about. So you can't criticize blindly. You have to be insightful in order to criticize. You have to know what you are pointing at. Criticism is not a bad thing. It is not an evil thing. It's not even hateful. But they claim that see this criticism as hateful. I think it's not. And I think maybe it is harsh, of course. It is very harsh to be put in bed, and then maybe the family, the closest friend to this Jan Hanbo, read those posts, so that they get sick, saddened, or they don't know how to act in order to do any good for this poor guy that is now in coma. So I think the criticism is a natural or qualified response. It can be both. It's never only one single way. But the criticism is often a qualified or a natural response to actions. So if he is this kind of a man that receive criticism. Of course, anybody would understand that people in position receive criticism. It's kind of the order of the day here in Norway, also in in England, in UK, that the politicians, even the king, the queen, everybody get their hat on, so to say. They get what they think, what people think they deserve. Harsh word. And Mr. The son of Queen in England, that was having his way with some girls that was victimized by this agent. Weinberg and all these people. Was criticized, even interviewed directly. He was in denial, and as most of the people here in it was Jeffrey Epstein, this guy that enslaved ladies, that was taken advantage of, and this Andrew from England was taking a picture of him and this lady that was victimized. And he was in denial. He couldn't remember anything, and he obviously was not there in his own statement. But now everybody knows, because the picture is there. And you know that people in high positions ought to be criticized. Media ought to be criticized. Media ought to criticize people. And now that this Hanvold came into position, he did a lot of things that people felt taken advantage of. Because they were in a desperate position, they were in poverty, a desperate situation, and all the rest. So they felt taken advantage of. Poor people, poor and people that you may feel sorry for. But if you are lured to and tricked by that, if you give so and so, you will be blessed. You will be healed. You will be given riches beyond your own imagination. It's that's how the Christian do it. And now I am on the podium. I have my saying, which is, I wonder how Christians, by all people, religious, decent people, have no reaction to people that is taken advantage of, rather to stoop in to defend those in high position. It's like they are in need of so much confirmation from this man, those politicians, those people that defend wrongdoing. Even it's wrong or not, it's stated that people react to wrongdoings. And when Christians, religious people, hide and defend people that are doing wrong, what can we say? Have the world lost its grip? Have people in the churches lost their way? In those parties, they will forgive and forget. Rather, And Jesus brought up this example that a rich man owed some richer some money. But he had a slave too that owed him money. A slave that couldn't repay his debt. So the rich man forgive and graced this man, but he couldn't grace the slave, the employee that was in need of this situation. So, you see, we rather defend the rich, the powerful. Why? Why would I go to that length to defend the rich and the powerful? But that is the name of the game. That is the order. And so many people are defending those that are rich, those with power. Look to Berlusconi. He did so much wrong. Look to Hitler. He did so much wrong. Look to Arafat. He did so much wrong. Yet he was praised. Mao. Yet he was praised. Putin. Yet he is praised. Criticism. And people are putting criticism to be criticized or to be critical in a box where you have, as they wouldn't know, whistleblowers. Whistleblowers are regarded as bad people by those friendly people, religious people. I have met so many of them. They could laugh at me in the church out loud. They could laugh at me because they may have wanted the confirmation from the elders, the pastor and the elder. I openly criticize them. And even today, no friends are among those people. I don't really miss them. But it is pity to call yourself a Christian. I don't know about the Jews. I think it is more or less the same culture, more or less the same degree of double standards. Double standards. One standard for high and mighty, and another standard for poor you. So I pity people that are in a position where they defend the high and mighty. I don't want to be in their position. I don't want to be in a position where I need to defend Jan Hannevall. That is a bad position. I don't want to be there for my life. And maybe it also goes, my friends. If you are so and so, here today, you have this cancel culture, which is even in families, even in friendship. I cancel you because you are not as we expect. You say wrong things because you are an outsider. You are the outsider. We don't want you anymore. We don't want you here, there, or anywhere. I pity them so much because they are in a position I don't want. I don't want to be in the people's position, yet I am among the people. I'm a foreigner among people. I don't know why. I have no clue who led me here. I have no idea how I was made in that way. But sometimes you are just what you are, and you can't be criticized for that. And I agree, Jan Hanvold and all those politicians can't be criticized for who they are. It's just their nature. But if you don't control the monkey inside, doing bad to other people, taking advantage of other people, enslave other people, people should be free. People should be equalized. People that are employed should be equal to their owners, so that we share their profits, we share the income. It's also regarded among the countries. Can't we just share what we need? I share with you what you need, and maybe you have something that I need. So let us share rather than to fight over water, food. I think so much blessing by doing good. Maybe for a brain dead or a foolish reason can often be excused because you are over yourself for doing good. You can't differ between who needs it or not. But to have to be critical is much needed when so much unjust is going on. And I wonder, back to the question, I wonder how cannot the Christian be some kind of a salt that prevent this decay that is ongoing? Cancel culture is within the family. Why can't family find together by accepting each other? Because there is so much unjust and pointing fingers. I don't know about you, but I also point fingers. I need to be arrested. It's a relief, as I said in a video, it's a relief to point fingers at someone else than myself. It is like that. But we need a clear conscience, and we are finding out. We have to find out why we should not defend wrongdoings. Not look to the people, but look to their actions. You can't be a saint by your face, smiley face, and your popularity. That goes by the Catholics. Since he was so popular, and we have saints too. Bob Dylan, Rolling Stones, all the rest, you too, or whoever, Bee Gees, Dolly Parton, all the rest. We should be aware of enslaving and be a slave to other people. So today it's Shabbat, and I wish you all the best of today. I may go out and have a nice day. Shabbat Shalom.